So what is network analysis? Or even before that, what is network? Uh, Anybody know what is network? Okay, network in a simple definition is a network is processing of some of the entities so which are connected by a relationship, and such kind of entities which are connected to or which are possessing any relationship are called network. So what is the necessary of identifying the analysis in network? That is the important part. Yes, if you do not have question, guys, please mute yourself so that it should not disturb others. Thank you so much. And let us take an example of social media network. Examples are Facebook, or you could say Twitter, or you could say LinkedIn, or Instagram, WeChat, and there are many social media platforms which are available now. So here, every individual is an entity. Let's say you are using Facebook and you have 10 friends. Okay, so all those 10 friends are entities. So we think them as entities. That is the base of network analytics, right? And relationship between these two entities, let's say you have connected to one of your friend, right? So you define that particular entity, like let's say if you have A and B person, uh, in order to explain this, so let me just use this. So let's say there is a Facebook social media network, and there is a person A and there is a person B. So these two are connected on Facebook with one kind of relations. It could be relative, or it could be a friend, or it could be a friend of friend, or it could be your colleague. So whatever the a relation between A and B, if you want to define, you could do that. And they are connected. A and B are connected in social network called Facebook, and that kind of a, guys, could you please mute yourself? So if there is an existence of any relationship between A and B is available, then we call it as relationship. And uh, so what is the process here in order to understand this exactly? For this to explain, I would like to take you an example. Let's say this is a Facebook. I have a quick question for you guys here. When do you see, or when do you say there is an existence of relationship between two people or two entities here? Yeah, if anybody can answer, or if you want me to repeat the question, I could repeat this. When do you say there is a relationship between two entities in Facebook? Anybody? There is a chat window here. Okay, both knowing each other. Okay, I could take this. Any specific answer or any other answers you have? Okay, here there is a certain action an individual has to take. I repeat the question. When do you possibly draw a relationship between two entities in Facebook? So if both A and B know each other, will they be friends on Facebook? Or if you take any other social media network also, you could take Twitter, you could take Instagram. So what is the process to be identify relationship between A and B here? Okay, let's assume a fact that A and B are known to each other. However, they are not on they are not friends on Facebook, or there is no relationship between A and B on Facebook. How do you derive this? Okay, there is a certain action it has to be taken. Let's say if A wants to be a friend with B, what he has to do is he has to send friend request. Send friend request. Okay, followed by an action from B that he has to, accept the friend request, isn't it? So friend request followed by acceptance. With this, this is called a network analytics. Like, so there is a relationship between entity A and B with some certain actions. That is, friend request has to be sent from A to B, or either B to A, or A has to accept this friend request, or B has to accept the friend request. Then only there will be an existence of relationship. So with this understanding, basic understanding, let us try to understand network analysis in very formal way, right? um, Network are comprised of two main entities. So what are those? So network is possessing, the first part is nodes, or you could say, and node commonly represent as circles, or you might have studied nodes as verticals in your academic as well, right? Have you studied nodes as vertical in your academics? Was it there? Yeah, so it is there in all the academics that we have, so we call it as vertex. Okay. And the second concepts or second parameter that we have is edges. What are these edges? They are commonly represented as lines between the circle. Let's say I have node A and B, and if they are friends on Facebook, we call it this relationship is called edges, right? Edges denotes the relationship between these two nodes, right? The heart of the nodes lies in the edges, not in it nodes. This relationship is available at the edges. It is not available on the nodes. Okay. The whole concept of network is defined using two words, and they are possibly called nodes and edges. Today, as a part of network analysis, we shall take social media like Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Okay. Uh, so, do you know for a fact that celebrities, right? So, celebrities are getting paid by social media network. So if you think these are the celebrities which are there, so they are getting paid by Twitter. So let us take our analysis towards only Twitter now. So do you aware of this fact? In fact, they are earning more than what they get in terms of seasons or movies, right? And so if yes, what, on which basis they are getting paid? Yeah. So I think I have an answer. If you do not have any answer, please mute yourself so that we should not disturb others, right? Okay, let me come back to the question that I asked. Do you know celebrities will get paid more by social media networks than the movies that they are making? Okay, if yes, on what basis they are getting paid here? Okay, if you do not trust me, okay, you could go to this particular website or you could go to Google and search how much do celebrities get paid to tweet. If you could search this, you are going to, or you are getting redirected to this particular website. You need to go to this website and are getting paid. Okay, now can a firm ride on your social capital? Okay, can you say what is the amount that they are getting from the social media? And do you also aware of the fact that how much it is worth? Okay, or how to identify the worth or the impact by these celebrities to get selected? Okay, if you do not trust me, if you go to this particular website, I make a note of it here. So they are getting paid at least $10,000 per tweet. Okay, so they don't really have to tweet something about your company or something about any particular product. Let just say that a celebrity is having a cup of coffee with his one of friend. So if that particular person tweets, and that particular person is going to get around $10,000 per tweet. Okay, what if that particular person spent his 10 minutes of time in Twitter by posting 2 tweets? So he is going to earn $20,000, right? So on what basis they are getting these kind of money, or these kind of money? So this is quite a big figure, isn't it? $10,000 is not a joke. So they are getting paid this much. On what basis they are? Let us try to understand on what basis they are getting this much of money. Let's say I own a digital marketing company. I need to post something as a promotion or an ad. Okay, in order to reach this promotion or an ad to maximum people all over the world, what should I do? Let's say I'm using Twitter. So I need to, send, or I need to promote something about my organization. Let's say I own organization called A. It is a digital marketing organization. I would like to post, some of the products which I developed in my, organization, and I have to post, or I have to promote this particular product on Twitter. What should I do? Okay, what I do here is I make some arrangements to the digital marketing system. Hope you guys are aware of what is digital marketing is, right? So I make some arrangements to the digital marketing system and pick up some of the celebrities, okay, who are having more followers. Let's say there is a celebrity XYZ who is having 1 million followers on Twitter. What I do, as soon as this particular person tweets, what I do is I will add the promotion will be posted along with that. So what exactly I do? This particular person is going to, tweet. Let's say he is going to tweet as I'm having a coffee. So this is what this particular person is doing. So there is no relation between this particular statement to the product that I produce in the organization called A. What I do as a part of digital marketing system is in order to promote the product that I develop, I just tag or I just add, the product details with this particular tweet. Okay. People who are followers of that particular celebrity will be viewing, and I might get business from them, right? And this is how Twitter or Facebook or any other social media networks are getting money from. This is the basic, platform that they are getting money from, right? Here, celebrity need not to required to post the messages related to the promotion at all. So let's say I'm producing a product called watch. There is no relationship between watch and I'm having the coffee. So he is assumed for a fact that he is not posting any images in this particular tweet, right? So now, will you be able to identify the relationship between watch and the cup of coffee? Right? There is no relation. It need not to have any relationship between the product that you produce and the tweet. But you generate a system from your digital marketing, and you make an arrangement that as soon as this post get tweeted on Twitter, so your ad promotion will also go along with this, right? So what Twitter does is, so Twitter is going to get some money from this particular campaign, and out of which Twitter is paying to this particular celebrity as a part of the business. And this entire process is called network analysis. So now the question you must be having that which celebrity should I select to run a ad campaign or to run a promotion activities, right? That is the biggest questions that we have. So what we do here is, in fact, if the popularity of the celebrity is extremely high, they will receive at least 15,000 to $20,000 per tweet. Yeah, this is the most important concept that we need to learn as a part of network analysis. If this is the thing, I think I have made you understand what exactly network analytics is. So network analytics is to identify the popular person so that I can run some campaign on that particular person's tweets. If I take example of a Twitter, right? So now, so what are the parameters? Let's take this as an example. Let's say these computers are connected to each other. Now you need to identify, okay, you need to identify which computer network is connected, have more connection. Let's say this is computer X and this is computer A, B, C, and this is ABC, and it is going to be D, and this is going to be E and F. Let us take this half part now. So which computer is connected to the more computers here, right? So if you could say, so let's say there is a team of hacker here. He wants to hack the data from all the machines from X to A, B, C, D, E, F. So in order to hack the data from these systems which are connected to each other, so which computer he has to start from to collecting the data, which computer he has to hack so that he will be able to getting access to all these particular machines which are connected to each other. So could you please let me know which is the computer which is connected more here, which has more connectivity? I think there is an answer here. E. Let's say, let's take this E. Okay, so you are taking only this part, I guess. So you are considering only this part in order to make you understand. You do not look for any other things. E is connected to D, E is connected to C, E is connected to X. This is a direct connection it has. Now, if you look at X, X is also connected to A, B, as well as F and E, right? I think X is having more connectivity here. If you could see, X is connected to A, B, F, as well as E, 4 connection. If you look at E here, it is connected to X, C, and D, right? So hacker has to look into this particular computer so that he could get access to maximum computers so that he could hack the data from those computers. However, there is a factor here. These machines has to be connected to network, maybe wireless network, or it could be wired network. It has to be connected to network so that he could hack this particular machine and hack the data from, or else it is not possible, provided the condition network, right? So if being a hacker, if he works on this computer, he will be getting access to the 4 more computers so that he could hack the data from, right? So concept is not to hack, concept is to understand what are the network analysis that we could perform. So if what are the targeted marketing that we are need to look for here, so which one should I target so that I can get maximum utilization, right? So how do we define these kind of things? So there are 4 parameters which we define here as a part of network analysis. Okay, so even before that, let us look into this examples. So who is better candidate to lend credit? So that means it is about banking sector. So he wants to bank manager wants to give some credit lend. So peer-to-peer lending network. Do you know what exactly peer-to-peer network lending network is? Anybody? I think there is an answer here. Direct connection from one PC to another PC. Yes, you could say that. Okay, so in this question, if you could relate to this particular question, what is peer-to-peer lending? Okay, so in order to make you understand this, there is a traditional banking system, right? So you must be aware of this. There will be some bank. So if they want to give to loan to person A, they would think they would possibly get all the details which are required in order to approve the loan from person A, that what he is doing, what he is capable of doing, what are his properties, what is the CIBIL score or credit score of this particular person. There are too many factors that they look into, and this particular bank will give to the loan to the person A on certain basis, and they will go for something called interest. Okay, so interest will move from minimum 11% to 18%. Right? So it would be in the range of 11% to 18% if you include personal loan, car loan, or any other particular loans that you want to take. Right? So if this is the interest rate, can I come up with a system which is having minimum interest rate? Could be 1% or 2%. Yes, that can be achievable using peer-to-peer lending network. Yeah. In fact, this peer-to-peer lending network is widely used in United States now. So it is implemented for 40%. So people are not going to bank to get loan with high interest of 11 to 18%. What they are possibly doing is to go for peer-to-peer lending network. What exactly peer-to-peer network? Let's say there is a person A who is quite kind of a rich, okay, and there is a person who is in a need of money. What he does is he will contact person A to provide some loan to this particular person. And what A exactly does is, so he doesn't have capability to look into all the possibilities that bank is looking for a person who wants to, borrow loan from bank. So this person is not having any CIBIL score. This person is not having any credit score. So what they possibly look into nowadays is they will go for, social media network. So which person, so is he in social media network? Then he will be eligible for this peer-to-peer lending network. Okay. So if he is part of any social media network, so what are the social media network that he use? Okay. So if I go, let's say there are Facebook, there is a Twitter, and there is something called Instagram. So all these are social media network which B is part of. And what exactly this particular person A does is he will go to his Facebook accounts, his Twitter account, his Instagram accounts, and try to identify, so what is his connection, so to whom he has connected, what are the set of people he is connected mostly with. So let's say this particular person is connected through Facebook, some of his friends who are like rude in nature. How would you get to know all this information? Just because of the post that they do. And he is also friend with some of the persons who are rude in nature, uh, just because based on their, this rude has been identified based on the post that they do on Facebook, or they send tweets or post on Twitters and Instagram. And if this particular person is going to be part of these friends, what exactly the person BA says, he doesn't even lend any loan to this particular person. Yeah. In fact, this is exactly happening in US market now. So on these basis, so it is kind of very unsupervised, right? There is no, kind of any parameters. He just look for some of the, possibilities that, what are the friends he is having, and what are the kinds of friends he is having, and what is his relationship, and what are the posts he is posting on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and what are the photos that he is uploading, and what are the photos that he is liking, and what are the videos that he is posting, what are the videos that he is liking, and where exactly he is going to comment. All these things are factors in order to lend loan in peer-to-peer connection or network, right? So these are the parameters that they use as a part of peer-to-peer lending network. Okay. If I made you understand on this, let us go to the next question. What makes it likely for a candidate to become more employable? Okay, so nowadays there are many websites so that you could be part of to show what exactly you are looking for as a part of your career. So are you experienced? Are you a fresher? What are the projects that you work on, and what are the technologies that you worked on, and what kind of experience that you have, and what are the interest areas of yours. And these are all the parameters of some of the websites, like you could say Jobstreet. They will ask all this information, and the perfect example for this is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is one of the important social media network in order to identify whether you worked on those particular projects or not. Let's say you are saying that you are a data scientist. You are a data scientist with 4+ of experience, 4+ years of experience, and you worked on certain technologies like network analysis, and you worked on some KNN algorithm, you worked on some of ensemble techniques, and these are the things that you have posted on your LinkedIn profile. So let's say uh, there is a HR who wants to hire a data scientist who possibly looking for the profile like you, like the person should be having 4+ year of experience. He would know some certain algorithms that they would require, because they run some of the algorithm in their organizations. What they do is they will look into your profile. So since this is your profile, you could possibly post anything here. Like, though you are not a data scientist, you could prove yourself as a data scientist. Those you do not have 4+ years of experience, you could say you have 4+ years of experience. Though you haven't worked on any of these algorithm, you could say I have worked on this kind of algorithms. Yeah, because this is the freedom which was given to you by LinkedIn. What exactly this HR will look into is, before they could get in touch with you via phone call or maybe emails, what they do is they will look for your network. So do you have any network who are related to your work? Maybe your friends who are part of a data scientist, or maybe your co-workers who are data scientists also, or are you working for the organization who, which works on analytical projects on advanced algorithm, like, so whatever the things that you have mentioned here. So they will look for all the possibilities. If you are not eligible for that particular profile, they will not get in touch with you on this. Okay, if they find everything is fine with this, then only they will get in touch with you to discuss more on this. So the first kind of a screening is happening without contacting you at all. Yeah, this kind of analysis is also called network analytics. Yeah, so if you trust me, 90% of the HRs are using this analysis to get in touch with right candidate. If they do not find, the right network on your profile, they will not get in touch with you. That means, so yesterday you have completed a data science, training from any institute or any other somewhere else, and then you posted, or you made arrangements in your LinkedIn profile that you are a data scientist with 4+ years of experience. Would they accept this fact? No, nobody will not accept this fact. So it has to, so in a day you will not be a data scientist. It has to happen in a slow manner process, right? So these are the possibilities that HR will look into as a part of network analysis. And how do you analyze the parameters of this? The first one is called, the first and foremost parameter is called degree of centrality or degree centrality. This is the parameter in order to identify. Okay, this is one of the parameter to calculate weight per node. Let's say this is weight. So let's say this is X, this is A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So now let us go back to the same example that we have taken. Let us go to Twitter. So this is celebrity X who is having connect to A, B, C, and D, E, F, G, right? So how many connection this particular person is having? According to this diagram, he is having 7 connections, 7 direct connections. So we call it as direct connections. There is a difference between connection and connectivity. So what is connection? What is connectivity? Okay, so in order to make you understand the difference between connection and connectivity, let me take you an example of A, B, and C. Okay, so let's assume A, B, and C are our cities. City A, city B, and city C. Let's say I have direct transport system from A to C. So it could be via highways, or it could be via freight, or it could be via the water network also. So anything. So there is a direct connection between A and C. However, if you want to reach from A to B, you have to come to C and then you have to go to B. And there is a connection between A and C and B and C. However, from if you want to travel from city A to city B, you have to come via city C. And this kind of a network is called connectivity. If you want to travel from city A to city C, you do not need to stop anywhere. You directly have a connection here. You could directly come. And these kind of relationships are called direct relationship, and that is also called connection. If you want to go to from city A to city B, you have to go via city C. So if that is the case, then we call it as connectivity. So now let us say, so let us go back to the same example that I have told you. If I need to identify that particular person to promote all so that I can get many, I'm sorry, many views on my promotion. However, so if I identify this particular person as, the promoter of my ad, so if I post ad on the tweets that he is posting, so I'll be reaching all these persons because he is having more, connections. However, if I look into this particular example here, okay, if I look into this example, so this particular node is having direct connection with 1, 2, and 3. Only 3, right? And so if you look at this particular thing, so this is connected to 2, and if you could see this, this is connected to 2. If you could see this is connected to 1, 2, and if you could see this particular 3, it is connected to this one, and this one directly. So it has more impact, right? But if you could look at this keenly, this entire object itself is a network. This particular object is also a network, and this particular object itself a network. If I contact this particular person, I can catch these 3 network altogether. But your degree of centrality says, whichever the person or whichever the node is having highest connection, then only you need to select as that particular promotion. And this is kind of a disadvantage here. Degree of centrality, as it is only applicable for local measures. If you look at this, this is only applicable for local measures here. So if you look at it in a broader way, this itself is a network, then your degree of centrality parameter will not look into these things. So it only looks how much nodes it is directly have a connection with. It doesn't look in any other way, right? And this particular example is quite straightforward. There is no connection between, there is no maximum connection apart from 2. So if you could take this as A, this could take this as B and C. So if you look at A connection, it is directly connected to B and C. There is no connection like this. There is no connection like this here in this particular parameter, right? So this is quite self-explanatory that we have. And degree of centrality is kind of disadvantage for us. We do have another parameter. So in order to overcome all this disadvantage with degree of centrality, we do have another parameter called closeness centrality. So what is that? Right? So which is basically taking in an account, let us go, okay. So degree of centrality, take this to here. And this is closeness. Closeness of centrality is defined using one formula, which is closeness is equal to 1 divided by sum of distances to all other nodes. Okay, and this is a statistical formula that we have with respect to closeness centrality. And in order to normalize this, we have something called normalized closeness is equal to total number of nodes minus 1 into closeness, right? So What exactly this closeness centrality does, which is taking an account of all the nodes, it is basically saying how close it is with other nodes in the network, right? And so this is what exactly our let me quickly grab this. Yeah, this is what exactly our says. How exactly says how close it is with the other nodes in the network. That is what exactly your closeness of centrality says. Let's say, let us try to understand this particular example here. Let's say this is an X. So this is, I have given A, B, C, and D, E, F, and G. So what this network we will do is we will convert this into matrix format. Let's say I have let us start from X, A, B, C, D. So for example, let us take only X, A, B, C now, and I will be taking X, A, B, C on column as well, variable. So if X is connected to X, X will not be having connection with X because X itself is X, right? Hence, there is no connection. What I do is there is no connection between X and X. Okay. Now what I look at, is there any connection between X and A? So if I look at here, only this particular part, if I look at, is there any connection between X and A? Yes, I have connection between X and A. Now, X and B, is there any connection? Yes, there is a connection between X and B. And I look for X and C. Is there any connection between X and C? Yes, I do have a connection. Now, what I look at, again, I will look into A into X. Is there any relationship or connection between A and X? Yes, I do have. And is there any connection between A and A? No, there is no connection between A and A. Now, I will look for connection between A and B. Is there any connection between A and B? Yes, there is a connectivity here. However, there is no direct connection. So I would make it as 0. Right? Is there any connection between A and C? There is no connection. And I will look for this one, B and this one. Yes, B and X, we have connection. B and A, there is no connection. B and B, there is no. B and C, there is no connection. And if I look at C into X, C and X, there is a connection. CA, there is no connection. CB, there is no connection. There is no connection. So what I look at is, if I look at this particular person and he is having capable to introduce 3 more person to me because they are in his network, what I need to do is I need to concentrate on this particular person, or maybe whatever the tweets that he is posting, I'll be promoting my ad on his tweet so that I can reach A, B, C as well, the maximum utilization. Closeness centrality is all about maximum utilization of one particular tweet posted by one particular person, right? So apart from this, we have one more parameter. Apart from this, we do have one more parameter which is called eigenvector, or if you want to say eigenvector, yes, you could go ahead and say that. Eigenvector centrality, you could say, it is depending on your pronunciation. How do you want to go for it? You go it. What exactly this eigen, vector centrality says? This basically says, or rather calculate, is who is important and not how many. So it will help you to identify who is the important person rather than who is who is the person who is having more connectivity. Let's say, in order to make you understand, let me give you an example here. Let's say there are person A and B. Okay, so in guys, could you please mute yourself? I think I just need to I'm so sorry for the disturbance. Okay, let's say person A is having a social network connectivity, like only 2 persons, like C and D. And this particular person B is having thousands of connections. So what our, uh, you know, What are the other parameters that we have discussed? We have discussed about degree of centrality and degree of uh, closeness certainty. So all this says, how many you have connections. Okay, let's say if I look into this, if I concentrate on this particular person, whatever this particular person tweets, I will be reaching to 1,000 people. This is one way of thinking. What exactly your eigenvector centrality says is, it need not to be who having how many network that he has, but is this, let's say, this particular person C, who is kind of CEO of one of the biggest organization in the world, right? So this CEO must be connected to, like, maybe millions of people. He must be having a millions of followers in Twitter, right? Or maybe this particular person, he is a principal of any universities, and he has connected to many alumni of that particular university and some of the students of that particular universities as well. So he must be having a millions of followers as well. So here, in order to promote something on only A and B, I don't need to consider B person here. So I might need to go for particular person called A, because who has connected to only two people, but those two people connected to millions of people altogether. So if I promote my ad on this particular persons, those who are able to follow this particular person, and this particular person also having capability to those weave those promotions, right? So this is all about eigen vector centrality. Here, who is the important thing? So here, which person is having more network is not important, right? So you need to think. So in order to understand more on eigenvector, so we need to understand some of the concepts, like uh, we have adjacency matrix. What exactly this adjacency matrix, right? So in order to understand adjacency matrix, we need to understand what is vector. What is vector? What is vector? And what is node? Hope I made you understand what is node. If this is A and B who are friends on Facebook or on Twitter, and these two are called nodes, and there is a relationship between, and that is called vertices or vectors. So if it is one, we call it as vector. So if it is a many, we call it as vertices, right? So let us try to understand with an example here. So you must be, going crazy about some of the movies wherein, who acts, especially the love story movies, who acts like a triangle love story, who come up with a triangle love story and try to, confuse you guys. Let's say if I take this as an example here, right? Person B, person A1 is liking person 2, right? And person 3 is also liking person 2, and person 2 is also liking person 3. What exactly that means? That means these two people are in love with each other, right? And this particular person only likes person 2. He is not in a mutual relationship between person 1 and person 2. However, so if you could see this network, so it is one directional, and if you look at this is multi-directional, or you could say bi-directional. And if you look at this person 1 and person 3, there is no relationship at all, and we have converted that kind of a relationship into matrix here, right? So if I could look at this other, and this kind of, when you have a direction, and we call it as directed graph. When we have this kind of a direction, we call it as directed graph. So this is one example. The other example could be, the same example. It doesn't have any direction altogether. That's it. So if you could see this dotted line says there is no relationship between, or there is no connection between person 1 and person 3. There could be a connectivity, which is person 2. However, there is no direct connection between person 3 and person 1. This kind of a representation is called directional network. If it want to repeat that unconditional, and so this kind of a representation is called unconditional representation or unidirectional representation, or you could say bidirectional representation as well. Vertex node is person 1, person 2, person 3. Connection between them is called edges. So if you could look at this, so what is vertex? Vertex is person 1, person 2 and person 3 is vertex. And if there is any relationship between person 1 and person 2 and person 3 is called edges. Here, there is a concept to understand this, let us move further, if I made you understand here. Um, yes. So we convert that into matrix and then we will analyze those things like this. It is quite self-explanatory here. And do you know, there is a concept to understand, Google is going for, or Google does something called page ranking. Do you aware of this fact, or do you know what is digital marketing is? Right. So if you're not aware of this, please uh, follow me on this. There is a concept to understand page ranking from Google. Okay. So Google, how many of you understand the concept of digital marketing? Do you know what is SEO? Search engine optimization. So let us take, in order to make you understand, let us take an example. So if I want to search something, I go to Google and I click on, and I type it on a Google search and hit on enter key. And I get too many recommendations based on the search. Okay, if I scroll down on the same page, I should be getting many pages option as well. If you could see, so there is a search engine, you type for something called flower. Okay, and you hit on search key here, and there is a new page open which has around 10 recommendations. Right after these 10 recommendations, there will be something called pages, 1 2 3 until n number of pages that you get. Okay, so now tell me, who will go to the page 2, page 3 and page 4? So if you do not get any right recommendations here, what you do, you will go back and you go for your, you optimize the search keyword. You enter that, you want to have a specific kind of a flower. Let's say you want to have iris kind of a flower here. So then you will type iris flower and you will get the recommendation based on the keyword that you have input. So if you are have habiting of, or if you have a habit of going to the next page, I'm very sorry, I haven't tried that so far, going to the next page so far. So rather what I do is I just change the keyword and skim my search engine. So here, as a digital market, one has to mention that keyword as a first word in their website, so that that could be visible as a first part here. Right? This is just one fact. There are n number of obvious reasons or concepts behind this digital market, so that, or maybe SEO, search engine optimization, and to come up with as a front page here. And Google runs an algorithm to identify the page ranking. Do you know that? Okay, so if you are not aware of that, Google has put lot of effort to build such kind of an algorithm. And the formula for this from the Google, or maybe an algorithm, maybe I could say, let's assume I have page 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so what Google does is they will run with this kind of algorithm based on the network that it has, this particular page has. So what exactly what is the connection between page 1 and page 3 is like, page 1 is having a link to go to page 3. Okay, and page 3 is also having link to go back to page 1, right? And here also page 1 is having a link to go to page 2, and page 2 is having a link to go to page 3, and page 4 page 4 is having only link to go to page 3. So now Google will analyze based on this 1 minus d formula divided by 4. What is d here, right? So you must be having that question, what is d here? By default, the value of this D is going to be 0.85%. That means there is a probability of 0.85%, or you could say 85% of probability associated to click on page 1, or maybe page 2, or maybe page 3, or maybe page 4. So Google will come up with this kind of algorithms. So then 1 minus D is going to get, yeah, people will not click on this particular page to get on this. Yeah, this is the formula that Google uses. Not only these 4, okay, Google has written 75 page of the same algorithm here. It based on the same formula, that is P is equal to 1 minus D divided by 4. And this formula changes based on the link processing by these particular pages, right? And this is all about the third parameter. Okay, there is a question here. Let me just. Yes, they made it as a constant, or you could say that is a reference value that they have made. Google has made this. So it is a probability value. 0.85 could be the probability value that Google is having. Now, so let us go to the next parameter. The next parameter and the third parameter is something called betweenness centrality. What is betweenness centrality? It basically says how often node lies in between connecting two people, right? And it is calculated as number of shortest paths between a pair it lies on over number of shortest path between a pair. What exactly that means, right? Let us take an example. So I have a network and measure between centrality for a node 4 here. Okay, number of shortest distance between S and T. So let us take an example here. So I have example here. So let's take an example. I would like to find 4 as my network. So 4 is called V1 here, V1 or Vi. That is because that is going to be my node. Okay, that is going to be my node. So what are the direct connection that it has? Let us say I have 1 and 4. If I want to come up with distance between 1 and 4, so what I do is I divide this into 2 parts and I call it as S, and here I call it as T, right? I call it as T. Vi, if I take 4 as Vi, I would require to split this network into 2 pieces. So that is what I have done here. So I have divided this into 2 pieces, S and T. Then let's calculate the distance between here 1 and 5. So what is the distance between 1 and 5 here? So it has to go to 3 first, it has to go to 4 first, second, and then it has to go to 5th. That means 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there is a relation 3 here. Rather than that, so there is a direct connection between 1 and 4, right? So I'll go to 1 and 4 and 1, and from 4 to 5 there is one more distance, we call it as 2, right? So 2 could be the shortest distance, or you could calculate this one also. You go to 1 from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, then 3 to 4, and then 5. It is going to be 4. So which is the shortest one here? 2 is the shortest one distance between these 2 points. Like this, we will calculate betweenness centrality for all the nodes here. Then we will come up with which one is the shortest node, then we will calculate using this. So it is going to be, so which is the shortest distance and how many it is? It is 1. and how many it is from 4 to 5, it is also going to be 1, and if you calculate betweenness centrality is also going to be 1 here according to the formula that we have, right? And apart from this, we do have one more parameter. Which is called uh, cluster coefficient. What is cluster? Cluster is a set of homogeneous data. What exactly cluster coefficient or says is it actually measures the degree which the nodes in a graph that tends to cluster together. That means homogeneous groups, and it is calculated using the formula number of connections that exist among its neighbors divided by number of links that could have critical or existed among its neighbors. Okay, this is what basically telling us is how strongly one node is connected to the other node. In the other way, it is like, if my LinkedIn profile is connected to only two people. So for the example that I have taken, let's take the same example again here. So this particular profile is connected to only C and D, right? And this particular is connected to thousands of like this 1, 2, and 3, and maybe millions of people it is connected. Now, what exactly it says is profile is connected to the two people, but the information that it shared is to how many people. This particular person is having 1 million connection, and this particular person is also having 2 million connection. So in fact, if I run a campaign on this particular person, I'm going to reach 1 million plus 2 million, it is going to be 3 million. But if I run a campaign on this particular person, I will be only reaching to maybe 1 million people. So they are not connected. Let's assume for the fact that they are not connected to any other people rather than me here. That means I connecting to the group of one particular people, homogeneous data, so that I can get at something with, right? Here, what exactly I'm doing here, this is not only weighing my value, instead it is weighing value of my network. Here I'm not valuing this particular person, right? Because he is only connected to two people, and this particular person is connected to thousands of people. So what I am weighing here is what this particular person is capable of having these two people, right? So if I weigh this, it is going to be 3 million. If I run a campaign on this particular person, I'm directly reaching three peoples here. So yeah, these are theoretical concepts with respect to network analysis. Let us quickly look into what are the things that I have done as a part of this, right? So let me just take you to the example here. And I'm considering the example of something airport data, so which is global airport data here. So it contains airline information and what is the ID of that particular airline and what is the source of that particular airport. And from that source to where exactly it is going. Let's say there is a flight called 2B, and it is starting from AER as a source, and it is reaching destination would be KGN, KZN, and it also having some of source IDs. This is unique ID to represent where what exactly that particular source and what exactly that particular is. And there is something called equipment also here. So, and this particular data set contains around 67,664 data points, but I would not like to consider everything. If I consider everything, sometimes, it is difficult to make you understand with the graph that I'm going to derive here. Hence, what I have taken is, I have taken a subset of this. I have taken only first 1,000 values as my data when I import the data set. And here I'm most importantly working on one particular library which is readily available in Python, which is having capability of showing you much better than this. So this is what I do. Network X is the library that I'm using here. I'm reading the data here. If I look at this, the first and foremost thing that I'm calculating is the first parameter. So what is the first parameter that we discussed? The first parameter that we discussed was, what was the parameter that we discussed? So it is degree of centrality. This particular graph says, so which one should I concentrate according to the degree of centrality here? So degree of centrality says I need to possibly go for this particular network wherein it is having more connection, right? So I have calculated that particular part and I have come up with this connection, centrality, and then I come up with these kind of things that I have for the centrality. So these are connected. So if you look at this particular area, maybe I need to concentrate on this particular point which is connected to, or which is having more connection, so that I can look forward for. And this is the data with respect to this particular diagram that I have. Then the second parameter that I have gone through was degree of centrality. I have calculated a degree of centrality here. Again, for the same data, I have considered only 1000 lines. And I also calculated betweenness centrality here and come up with this particular diagram. If you could look at this diagram, betweenness centrality is providing more information than degree of centrality. Maybe I need to look into this particular part, or maybe this particular part, or maybe this part. I think they are the only two parts which I need to look at. However, if I look into this particular thing, it is morely, it has more connections. Maybe, I need to go for these kind of things as well, right? And then what I did was I need come up with eigenvector, and then I have calculated some cluster kind of analysis. And if I look at this, I'm getting more values here. So if I look at this particular, it is covering this particular aspects as well. So if I concentrate on this particular area of network for the campaign of my advertisement on that particular airport, or maybe that airlines, whichever is connected to those things, so maybe I could get possibly more and more look or clicks or views. And I have calculated the centrality as well. And if I look at this, and it is perfectly showing which area or which network should I concentrate on, so that I can run my campaign on this particular site. So it is quite obvious here, so that I can concentrate on this particular thing and run my campaign or ad campaign. Yeah, this is what all about network analysis I wanted to show you for the day. If you have questions, you could ask me. Okay, I assume I made you things clear here. And thank you so much for joining, and you guys have a good day.